Three toxic patterns that I had to break. Yes, I was a toxic person. I truly was, and that's because I came up very, very hard. I came up struggling. I came up living from house to house after my grandmother died. So I had a rough upbringing. So I was toxic. I really was, and I didn't know it. But and at the same time, it was really kind and sweet inside. So let's get into the three toxic things that I had to break. So that if you have these or any experience with these with yourself or somebody told you about them, you'll know how to break yours. So the first one I'm going to talk about is people pleasing. I have it right here in my book. I had to write them down. It is people pleasing. Now I was such a shy girl. I know it doesn't look like it. I did a lot of hard work to get here. But I was already shy. I was so shy to tell someone good morning. I was so scared to open my mouth to say anything because I had this belief that everybody will shout at me and everybody will, demean me and talk down to me. And so I was really, really shy. I even had a friend when I was growing up that when I went by her, her mother used to laugh at, when you come in the house and you say hi to Kimberly, Kimberly with this little soft voice saying, good evening or whatever. And I was really, really quiet. And she actually thought that I was scared of her when really and truly it wasn't. Thought she was a very nice woman. But I was a people pleaser. I just give me that little backstory, but to let you know, like I was really, really shy. I was a people pleaser, which means that I'll say yes to things that I want to say no to. I'll agree to do things to people because I figure that's the way that I'll get them to like me. Because a lot of people didn't like me, and I wanted the little few that liked me to keep liking me, and I just did things to just make everybody else happy except myself. And in the end of it all, I felt even lower, or even mad at myself sometimes for doing things or for not saying no, or why can't I just open my mouth, or why am I so, I always call myself, why am I so stupid? I always just ask myself that. And it wasn't that I was stupid, it was that I was so afraid of speaking up for myself that people pleasing it was the easy way out. So if you're someone that you battle with people pleasing, and I'll probably do a whole nother video talking about people pleasing and how to get out of it, just start with doing some self-love. You people, and me that used to do it, that you don't, it's very hard for you to say no to people because you're scared of getting people angry. Fuck that. Like, who cares if they get angry? They get angry, they'll get pleased. I would rather that you actually value your values way more than other people. So whatever it is that you have to say no to, say no, and say no scared. Say no and stand your ground. It is no. Because when you don't people please, that's where you gain your respect. I remember that I had a boss that she used to had us to lie for her a lot, a lot, a lot. And I decided when I was coming out of my people pleasing era, I'm done lying for people. Like, I'm literally not putting that energy out there in the world to lie for some person just meaninglessly, and also attract, those things back to me. Because I hadn't gotten into, like, understanding manifestation and karma and all those things. So I remember when I told her, like, I'm done lying. And I literally came in, we had a meeting out there, and I said to everybody, I am done lying. So whoever in here wants me to lie for them, I am sorry, I'm not telling any more lies. And, you know, universe, God has a sense of humor. That same time I finished saying that, the phone rang. And it was for my boss. And I answered it. And I told the person, hold a minute. And she told me, oh, tell the person that I'm not here. So I looked at her because I just said I'm not lying anymore. And I went on the phone. I looked her in the eyes while I was saying that. I was on the phone. I was looking at her like this. And I called her name. Let's say her name was Suzanne. Suzanne said that she's not here. Bye. And I put the phone down. I didn't wait for the person to reply or anything like that. And she was like, Kimberly, why would you do that? And I said, I just told all in here, I'm done lying. And I am. All my colleagues were like, oh my God, I can't believe that you did that. And the funny thing is, I started when I started that, everyone else followed on. So you'll be surprised that when you start to say no to people and you stop, you know, sucking up to people and want people to like you, you will realize that the impact that you will make on those around you, you will create a pathway. So sometimes stepping away from people pleasing and actually saying no don't only affects you and it's good for you, but it helps all the other people around you too to be able to stand up to bullies, to be able to say no to. They were just waiting for someone to say the thing that they were scared of. So sometimes when you're doing things, think of maybe the people around you that you'll be affecting as well, and how much of those want to say no, but they're so scared. Never be afraid to speak your truth. All right, let's go on to the next one. So the next toxic trait that I had to get rid of was I was ungrateful and selfish. Listen, my grandmother, I love that woman. My grandmother spoiled the hell out of me. And she spoiled the hell out of me. She was so loving and sweet, and I don't know, like, by the time she died, I was like 12, 13. Everything was about me, 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 me. And I was very ungrateful. So, like, even I remember one time my sister, she only got this little job, and I had asked her for $20. I had asked her $20? No. I had asked her for some money, though, to buy some stuff. And she gave me what she could afford at the time. And when she gave it to me, I was like, is she crazy? I didn't want this. I wanted more. And I was not grateful in that moment to tell my sister thank you, because she didn't have to give me her hard-earned money. She was barely making money. She had to also take care of herself too, and as much as she was trying to help me, I was not grateful. So I was not grateful at all. And every single thing was about me, 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 me. And I didn't see it from the other person's point of view. Everything was about me, and I was completely selfish. Yes, I'm telling you the truth. This is what this channel is about. I speak the truth here because I'm here to help you to become the best version of you so that you can attract and manifest all that you want in your life. So if you are selfish, you recognize that you have selfish traits, that you would rather have the bigger piece of meat instead of giving it to your partner. You would rather have the best of, you have two things in your hand, and one it looks way better than the other, and you'll rather have it for yourself than to give it to the other person that would benefit from it more. If you are selfish and ungrateful with it too, you absolutely need to change that. And if you know someone that's completely selfish, they're about me. Every single time you hear them, it's about me, 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 me. And then even if somebody tries to help them, they're just so ungrateful. They never have gratitude coming out of their mouth. And everything bad happens to me, and, it's all about me. Until I brought that personality, until I brought that trait, so it was part of my personality, I always felt completely low. I always felt like my life was like just continuously being the same old mess over and over again. And it was just super frustrating being me at that point. And now I look back, like with the gratitude that I have now, that something bad would happen, and yes, I might get upset in the moment, and then I'll say, you know what? If this bad thing has happened, something real damn good is coming my way, like really. And that's what happens. But you can't stay in the ungrateful stage. You can't stay in the selfish mood. Always live by love and be grateful for what you have. Yes, there are things that you want, but ungratefulness will get you more things to be ungrateful for. Gratitude gets you more things that you can be grateful for. So it's your choice. What side do you want to be on? The ungrateful side or the grateful side? I choose the grateful side because I recognize me being ungrateful and selfish, where it was all about me, that until I changed those two things, my life always sucked. So let's talk about the final toxic trait that I had to break. The final one was living in victim stage. Listen, I was always the victim. I mean, yes, I was the victim, but still. The people out there, God, I was one of these, so I could talk about it. That don't matter what the situation is, you're always the victim. You are always the victim. And it's like, why does all these things happen to me? Why are you are not looking at your actions? Because actions has reactions. And when you act on something or when you behave a certain way, obviously, it's going to come back. Like literally, you cannot play the victim and always want to be the victim and you want somebody to always sympathize with you. I remember one time I had a friend that came to me and I recognized that she had this trait because obviously I was in this trait, so I know what I'm seeing. And she was always coming to me, she's always complaining, and it was always this buddy and that buddy and that buddy and this buddy and that buddy. And she never took ownership of what her side of it was. I'm big enough to say, well, I was probably a little bit too harsh there. I'll say that because I know that I can be a bitch sometimes, and I tell people that. One of my best friends, she laughs at me every single time I say, no, yeah, I know I could be a bitch. And whenever we used to work together, because I used to work with her, and whenever I get really upset, or she does something to really piss me off, and I do something, when I'll calm down. It doesn't take me long to calm down. I'll answer, was I a bitch just now? Because I know I can be a real bitch. And she'll always laugh because she'll be like, yes, you were. And she truly appreciates the fact that I acknowledge that I am a bitch sometimes. I am very, very sweet, but when you piss me off, I can be a true bitch. Yes, I can. But I know that that's part of me. And I am not scared of apologizing for that part of me because I'm not perfect. I really am not. But for those people, there are people that, but before even, let me not talk about people, let me talk about me. Before I was, taking responsibility for my actions, I would be always the victim and I never did anything wrong and I never knew what I did wrong or why would they behave like that towards me or what did I, it was never ever me. I was always the victim. And you see, when you live in that victim mode, you never get anywhere in life. You will always attract the same type of people. You will always attract the same type of events. Nothing in your life will seem to change. So you have to get yourself out of victim mode. When things and situations happen, don't look at it as, oh, this has always happened to me, and people are this, and people are that. No. You have to look at the situation and say, what did I do in this situation to have caused this? What was my actions? Can somebody tell me what did I do? Because I know that I can be hard sometimes. I know I can be rough sometimes. And the people that I have around me now will definitely tell me, Kimberly, you were wrong. You should have done that. And I will get mad if I choose to get mad. But at the same time, I refuse to live in victim mode. I will, and I'm big enough to take responsibilities for my actions. To take responsibility for my actions. So you have to be willing to take responsibility for your actions. And if you only deal with those three toxic traits that I just listed to you, people pleasing, being technically four, but we'll combine the selfishness and ungratefulness and living in victim stage. If you only fix those things in your life, you will rid yourself of your toxic traits and you will live on a level that when bad things happen, good things will follow. And this, I'm telling you this because I've had situations this year where I broke down and and crying, I do have some on my channel that I chose to share with you, but I had other times too where y'all didn't see. But I've had times this year or two that I broke down, I'm sad and stuff, and when I look no, all the things that are happening, and no, I have do not have my spousal visa yet. No, I'm still separated from my husband. But when I look at all the other things in my life that that are happening for us, and all the good things that you're seeing that are moving into motion and stuff like that, I'm grateful because I can see a step forward. And right now I could choose to be in the stage where I say like, oh my God, I'm separated from my husband. Yes, I'm sad. Yes, I am sad. And I could come on here every week and cry and cry and cry and live in that stage. This me stage. Or I can accept what I'm going through. Cry when I'm sad, yes. Release it, let it out. Share it with you. When I'm sad next time, I'll definitely share it with you. When I'm frustrated, I'll share it with you because this channel is not about me showing you that, oh, I'm so perfect. Because I'm not. I can be a bit sometimes, I know I can. And y'all probably saw my attitude on this channel more than once. With some videos if I'm mad at somebody. But I want you all to get from me, like this lady online, this lady Kimberly, you get her, you see her. She's a real person. We have real conversations. She talks on the camera and we talk in the comments. And my email is always open up to y'all. Feel free to reach out. I want the best version of you to birth. I want we all to go towards our goals together. And I want to see you win as much as I want to see myself win. Because in life, I believe that if you treat others, if somebody else had this talent that, they had, their brain worked like how my brain worked, and I needed the guidance to go through life, to make my life better, to become a better version of me. I wish that that person would pick up a camera and create videos and tell me where I'm going wrong so that I can learn from them. And that's why I'm doing this. Because this is what I love to do. I, a lot of the times, it's going to say majority, but a lot of the times I sit here and I have my camera at my phone. I always call it my camera, but really it's my phone. I have my phone and I'm talking with you all. I feel good inside. I'm actually putting out good in the world. But I'm not perfectly good. I'm good, a human being that has ups and I have downs. But all in all, I look for the good in life. And I just want you to look for the good in life, stand up for yourself, and stop accepting bullshit from people. And just be you, know your values, and always be grateful. And even if you're sad, find something grateful in that moment or use your sadness to manifest. I do have a video on my channel about that. Anyhow, that's it for this video today. Thank you guys for watching, and let me know what, and I would like to hear from you in the comments. What's your toxic trait and what do you think that you need to work on? Put it in the comment section below, and remember to be brave, be strong, and be you, and subscribe to the channel. I always forget to say that. Subscribe truly means a lot. And yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.